They found you as cold-blooded.
Wednesday Addams, based on the daughter of the Addams family, premiered on Netflix this fall. The dark humor of Wednesday and the cold ways she talks about everything is really the best part of this show. Welcome guys to Movie Musings, where we'll talk about all the Wednesday or so-called moments throughout the season. Number 1. Wednesday was expelled from the Nancy Reagan High School after releasing piranha in a pool. The swimmers in the pool had bullied her brother Pugsley and were filing attempted murder charges. Mostly, when one has attempted murder charges filed, they'd be glad it's not actual murder or manslaughter. But Wednesday's response is quite different.
Everyone would know I failed to get the job done.
Wednesday does not have a phone or social media, her reason being that she doesn't want to be a slave to technology. And nowadays, social media is a source of great debate on productivity, self-esteem, and even addiction to social media. However, Wednesday's response to joining social media will want you having to evaluate your own life and sometimes close your accounts.
I find social media to be a soul-sucking void of meaningless affirmation.
Number 3. Who knew being hospitable and friendly may end up getting you killed or threatened? While Enid is showing Wednesday around and essentially smothering her with hospitality and friendliness, Wednesday is planning on how to put an end to that and smother her in her sleep. This is something to remember when you feel too neighborly.
I hope to return the favor in her sleep.
Coffee is a huge market. The bitter brew is a staple of weekday mornings, school nights, and essentially everything in life. With all the complicated orders nowadays, Wednesday is quite simple. 4 shots over ice, or as she says it, a quad over ice. But one thing she can't stand is those people who take drip coffee. Who knew such a simple order could be as judged as a complicated order?
A drip is for people who hate themselves and know their lives have no real purpose or meaning.
Number 5. We all love being alone sometimes, but Wednesday especially detests the idea of friendship. She claims their weaknesses to be exploited. So we have all once said that I am an island, sufficiently independent and alone. But Wednesdays is further fortified by moths and sharks, and who knows what else.
I like being an island, a well-fortified one surrounded by sharks.
It's mean girls out here, and if words could kill, Bianca and Wednesday would have reduced each other to ashes. But never before have girls been compared to carnivorous plants or native species, attempting to weed each other out. Such is the case between Bianca and Wednesday. Bianca is the self-appointed queen bee, and Wednesday delivers a not-so-veiled threat about bees and their stingers.
Interesting thing about bees. Pull out their stingers and they drop dead.
Number 7. There is a lot of teenage angst in this show. Wednesday is dead set against joining Nevermore and following in her mother's footsteps. Her parents, Morticia and Gomez Addams, both attended Nevermore. Enid's mother is trying to send her to lycanthropy conversion camps so that she can learn to wolf out. Bianca's mom, a siren, is blackmailing her. These mother-daughter relationships on this show are tough, similar to how one needs to be in prison. When asked how close she is with Morticia, Wednesday is a classic but cold response.
Like 2 inmates sentenced to life on the same cell block.
The hope of all police, law enforcement, and everyone involved in a kidnapping, including the kidnapped, is that their kidnappers are amateurs. At least then there is a chance of escape. But is there a worthy adversary in amateur kidnappers?
My foe was no psychotic killer, more like a bunch of high school clowns.
When Wednesday is exploring the Nightshade Library, she is suddenly bound and gagged and kidnapped by who she hopes is a psychotic killer, or at least a professional kidnapper.
It's amateurs like you who give kidnapping a bad name.
I do have to agree with her on this though. Revenge is said to be a dish best served cold. But after defeating Bianca in the pool race, damaging her boat and essentially forcing her to swim to the shore for safety, and blowing up the statue of Joseph Craxton, a pilgrim who was determined to rid the world of outcasts, we have to agree with Wednesday's idea of revenge.
Reform at the sight of pain.
The world, life, and sometimes high school can indeed be compared to the wild savannah. There are cliques, hierarchies, groups, and eat or be eaten culture. When Enid and Wednesday go shopping for dresses to the Raven dance, Wednesday is predictably not excited about it. To get out of shopping or social commitments, it's normal to give excuses like, I'll slow you down, I'll ruin your mood, I'm not excited about it, but it has never been quite described as this.
I'm a wounded fawn. Cut me loose and go run with the pack.
Number 11, the complexities of dating and emotions, especially as teenagers in high school. There has to be communication, not just signals, and that is sometimes reduced in real life relationships. When Wednesday asks Xavier out to the Raven dance, Tyler is very upset. He is sure him and Wednesday are developing a romantic relationship of sort, as she shares a lot of information with him. However, Wednesday describes Tyler's signals as
Also, can't interpret your emotional Morse code.
which may be hard to interpret, similar to Enid's flirting attempts with Ajax, which are emotional Morse code indeed. Number 12. No one likes to see their parents making out. Morticia and Gomez are, however, extremely affectionate, exchanging romantic platitudes in multiple languages every second. There is no getting used to it, as Wednesday chastises her parents who are trying to embrace through prison bars.
Jackals with more self-control than you two.
This does not seem to deter them, though. Number 13. Let bygones be bygones. Let's start over. This doesn't apply to Wednesday, who can hold a grudge. The sheriff is very keen on arresting Gomez Addams for the murder of Garrett Gates over 30 years ago. When Gomez is found innocent and released from jail, he tells the sheriff he does not hold grudges at all. However, Wednesday is not in a hurry to bury any hatchets. Number 14. So we all have songs that remind us fondly of someone. As the school year draws to a close and Wednesday and Enid go home for the holidays and vacation, Wednesday promises Enid that she won't forget her. No one has ever wanted to be reminded, however, that their favorite songs will make one's ears bleed, but when it comes to Wednesday, we are not surprised.
Anytime I grow nauseous at the sight of a rainbow, I'll think of you.
The night of the Raven dance, Jacob and the other normies from Pilgrim's World release wet paint through the sprinklers. But this is not good enough for Wednesday, who wanted pig's blood. Okay, Carrie, I do agree with her though. Everything is in the details. Number 16. Birthdays are a celebration of a year older and a whole year gone where you've been alive and healthy. However, for our girl Wednesday, obsessed by death and the macabre, it's one step closer to death and the grave.
Each one reminds me I'm a year closer to death's cold embrace.
Who describes their birthday like that? Wednesday Addams. Thanks for watching, guys. This series was more comedy for me than anything else. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment about where Wednesday's cold term cut the deepest.